Hello, everybody. You ever just have a liquid eyeliner that you're like, I really want to put it on my lips, but you're like, it's probably not safe to put because, like, lipstick, no matter what lipstick, it's always safe for the eyes because you ingest it, so it's got to be safer. But the reverse is not the same. So then it's like,
from a healthcare perspective, actually, the things that go on your eyes are safer than the things that go on your lips. There's a lot of red dyes that can't go around your eyes. So
theoretically,
safe bet.
I guess
if it's on your eyes, like the area around your eyes is very porous and mucosal, so like it's like I think it's safe.
Yes, job.
But that's my unprofessional medical opinion.
I think my equivalent as someone that's never used liquid eyeliner is I sometimes want to chew on wires.
That I understand.
That's something that isn't supposed to go near your lips, but is tempting.
I have a fun story with that. I used to chew on just random metals, and I had a filling. And part of the reason I did it was because chewing on the metal against the filling like heated it up and just felt weird but nice. And I accidentally lost half of my filling because I dislodged it that way. Not sure about the science that we're talking teen Sam. So just so we know, adult Sam was not doing that. But yeah, so technically I still have half a filling missing because of that. Hold on, I have to help my child. He's struggle bussing.
I feel like I also like would eat on random metals. Like I would have like a pendant like this, and I would like constantly bite it as like a child.
Yeah,
that's like I think like this is like very common too.
Bite me up.
Y'all ever put batteries in your mouth?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did it this last week, if I'm honest.
Oh my God, don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, in my defense, I found the battery and I was just messing with it. And then I started doing something and I did it out of habit. And after I realized I did it, I put it down. But
Sam, this is why you are my people.
Oh my God, don't do that. I've like seen like x-rays of that and how like it really like you can die. Like it's very dangerous.
Sometimes you have to risk it for the biscuit, and sometimes the biscuit is a Duracell battery.
I feel we have to say we're not encouraging anybody to do this. Do not.
I am definitely not encouraging anyone to do this.
I am saying if you're an adult, no one can tell you what to do.
Oh my God.
And this is why Matt can't have his own channel.
Yeah.
What channel get taken down? I told people to chew on battery.
Oh, look, Matt's beard is grown in so much it doesn't look weird. Like weird.
Thank you.
I don't know. I think she just bullied you.
I mean, that would be far from the first time that happened. But thanks. I think maybe.
I think Jess is saying that for the first time she went, "That's a beard," and not, "Oh, Matt's got a weird shadow."
Honestly, I think it's just that you guys have seen me with, if you want to call this a beard, enough times that you know it's not a neck shadow, because I think it does still very much look like a weird neck shadow.
It doesn't look like a neck shadow. I didn't think it was a neck shadow. It's too dark to be a neck shadow.
Yeah, it's definitely grown in fuller, if nothing else. So not me rubbing my
It's
fancy
so good
spot
to
where that
finally
one
grow
hair
up.
grows.
I also have that spot.
Yeah, I call it my witch hair. It just regrows there like once a month, and I pluck it out every time. I don't know how it keeps growing in that exact same spot. I've derooted this motherfucker for the last 3 years, but it just keeps coming back. So
yeah, I've even gotten like laser on that one spot to see if it doesn't come back. And it always comes back.
That is an indestructible hair. Also, Fox has said, "What the fuck, Sam? What the fuck, Sam? What the fuck, Matt? What the fuck, Sam?" You got what the fuck, Matt.
Because of batteries, yeah.
Matt's photos are now inaccurate. Thanks, Matt. Parentheses, what the fuck, Matt?
It can go at any point.
Matt shaves off all of the work he's done just so he continues to match the photos for Fox. What, child? No, you have however long the computer is programmed to give you. Yeah, it's a lot of work for me to change that. Yep. I mean, it wasn't like an hour in, and Sam and I aren't like, oh yeah, beer.
This is fair. This is fair.
Nikki, I feel like we should give you context. When Matt first started growing his beard out, there was a stream when, like, an hour in, Jess and I are like, wait, Matt, you have a beard now. We just thought it, because his room was also kind of dark, so we just thought it was a shadow. So,
Well,
yeah.
And what's funny about it, too, is that, like, I wasn't, like, consciously trying to grow a beard or anything, but just for the longest time on this channel, I had a job where I had to be clean shaven. So I was always just 100% no stubble at all, no nothing. And then I don't have that job anymore. So it's more like I can just let it grow for a week or so and it's not that big a deal. But then they're like, oh my God, you have facial hair. I'm like, I do? When?
And like the next 2 or 3 times he streamed, we proceeded to just repeat the same course of events of, oh yeah, that's a beard on your face. So.
Well, your beard looks very nice.
Thank you.
Yes. How long did it take to grow it out to this length?
No idea. If I had to guess, like
he had
10
the
days,
weird neck
maybe?
shadow in June.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I've been clean shaven at some point.
Oh, okay.
After that. Like, it comes and goes, but this is probably like 10 days or so. I don't know.
Excuse me as I go back and check all the previous streams.
Yeah, no, I do not have weird neck shadow in every stream.
See, this is bullying.
I'm sorry, we can't. I'm sorry, I can't be you, Chris.
Oh my God! Look at that guy's beard.
That's my husband.
Oh, he's just rubbing it in your face, man.
That's why I said that's bullying. Because we all know. We know Chris could be clean shaven and in 10 days have a full beard. He's got to groom again.
And this is what 10 days gets me.
He recently he got a haircut, and when he gets his haircut at our barber, we do the whole deluxe thing. So, you know, he gets like the steam thing on his face and everything. And she's got a beard steamer. So she like trims his beard and then steams it for him. And then like like on the way home, Chris goes, he's like, I forgot I too bought a beard steamer. So he actually has a beard straightener that like as he brushes it, it steam straightens his beard. So
I want to grow out a big Chris beard just so I can go get it steamed.
It looks like it feels amazing.
Yeah, that sounds so cozy.
I'm so jealous. I want
just a warm face blanket.
We all know I have beard envy.
Like a steamer on my head? That would be nice. My barber just cuts my hair.
Nikki?
Are you there?
Hello?
Hello?
Was I disconnected? Hello?
You were cutting in and out. Yes, child?
Oh, no, I was just saying you should get
yes, and yes.
In open of time, please put.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nikki
You're
has
still
robot.
cut in. Yeah.
Beard straighteners are a thing. Yeah, apparently so. And we own one.
I also love Jess's comment. I do like to bully Matt, but that's allowed here. Thank you.
Only because Matt bullies back.
This is a bully-free zone unless it is me.
To be fair, anybody who's comfortable with being bullied, you're allowed to bully. But
Yes.
if you don't want to be bullied, then no one's allowed to bully you. One day there will be writing talk on your stream. Might not be till 2023, but we'll get there one day.
We don't do that here.
We've had a lot of writing talk the past month or so. All right, let the beard talk also commence. He doesn't eat crunchy PB, so he has to be.
It is a good thing my skin is thicker than my facial hair.
It really is. I'm hoping Nikki comes back because we were about to do the intros. That's
Introductions, as they're called.
Yes. Did you know that outro stands for outroductions?
Oh, that's fun.
Just approves your self-burn.
Thank you. See, that's why I'm so
Hi,
good
am
at
I still
writing.
recording?
Oh, no, I can hear you now.
Am I still? Okay, perfect. Okay,
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Okay.
Would you like to go ahead and do your intro?
Oh, me? That's what I missed?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're in the hot seat.
Okay. Okay, hi, my name is Nikki. I am a booktuber / author tuber / medical student, hence like my aversion to the magnet eating. And I
Batteries.
also the battery eating, that too I don't like. A lot of things that shouldn't be there. Today I saw an entire toothbrush being eaten, the entire thing.
Delicious.
So yeah, I'm the person to go to if you ever want to like make sure things are anatomically accurate.
Anatomically.
And what's the best way to kill someone? That's also something that we study.
Is that a Darth Vader
Oh
shirt?
yeah, it's a Vader shirt that says
Plaid.
underestimate my power. I'm like a big like Sith Lord fan, which I know is problematic because like they are kind of not the best.
Trust me, you've come to the right place for problematic faves.
But like I would say like my favorite Sith Lord is Darth Maul because I'm pretty basic. But I love the Kenobi show, and I got my brother the matching one that says hello there and it says Kenobi.
Let's put it this way. I know a weird amount about Star Wars that ranges from like nothing to extremely obscure weird things. And one of the things that I knew was about Darth Maul. And my husband just looks at me and he goes, "Why do you know that? You didn't know who Obi-Wan Kenobi was, but you know who Darth Maul is." And I'm like, see,
now you have to share it. What do you know about Darth Maul?
Well, I knew who he was.
Oh,
because we were talking about something, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, I remembered like Darth Maul, and that Darth Maul killed somebody. I can't remember who at the moment."
yeah, Qui-Gon.
Yeah, that's so. We were just
Did you
talking
know
about
who
that, and I'm like,
Obi-Wan
"Oh yeah, he
Kenobi
was killed." I did not, because here's the thing. Obi-Wan Kenobi and who's the other one?
Anakin?
Luke.
No. No. The
Yoda.
No, he's also a white guy who looks like Jesus.
Qui-Gon?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so see, here's the thing. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon look like young Jesus and old Jesus, so I thought they were the same man. I was like, all right, this is the younger and older version of the same guy, right? They're both Jesus. They're not. They are, in fact, two different people.
Is Star Wars a Christmas movie?
Qui-Gon, yeah. See? But I knew Darth Maul killed one of them. And my husband was like, but how do you know that? But you don't know.
Which one's which?
I think, see, Darth Maul killed old Jesus. I know that. And I'm pretty sure that's Liam Neeson. So, like I said, but I can tell you how the hut system, bounty hunter system works, and I can tell you that the daimos are based on a Japanese warlord system that makes absolutely no sense with the way that Star Wars actually utilizes it. But I cannot tell you much about the Jedis. They're like
The who's?
the
Daimos? Who are they?
Oh, the daimos?
Yeah, who is that?
Well, okay,
in Star Wars. Who is that?
In Star Wars, the daimos are like these warlords, or not warlords, they're crime lords.
Mm-hmm.
And they like run a protection syndicate. So it's like, you know, you pay tribute to your daimo and he or she protects you. So it's like it's more Yakuza than daimo. In feudal Japan, the daimos were just the lords of the area. They
like George Lucas like really did just like pick and choose like his like
appropriated and I hate it so much because like he appropriated and misused so many things, and now more people associate these words with these incredibly inaccurate representation of what the actual thing was. So it's terrible. But yeah, so I know these really obscure things. And like Padme, I believe, her outfit and wardrobe is based on this Chinese tribal's ceremonial outfits.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're beautiful.
Can't tell you much about the Jedi,
are absolutely stunning. If that's any consolation.
Also could go into the theological discussions about how the Force was in fact balanced by Anakin because he took out the light side so that the light side and the dark side would be balanced again, because you must have everything in balance and in order. But I don't know anything about the Jedi Order itself. I know these things because my dad really loves Star Wars, and these were the things that my dad likes to talk about. So that's all that I learned about. So yeah.
But your dad seems like a cool guy. You have to have him on your channel one day to talk about Star Wars.
The man won't even let me take pictures of him because he may or may not be some sort of weird occult ex-bounty hunter assassin guy. I don't know. My dad has a colorful past.
Your dad needs a book written about him.
I would love to. One day I would write a character inspired by him. All I know is there's very specific things that I have had to promise him that I won't do or get involved with in the world. And like he has told me and all of my sisters that if we see people with these tattoos that match his, to never admit our affiliation with him. So like this is actual advice that my father gave us. I also just have a lot of habits and stuff that I thought was normal for people to learn from their fathers. And then everybody else goes, no. That's like when you're walking down the street at night, walk with your head up and like you own the place and make eye contact with everybody because fucker gotta know that you mean business. And most people I know, they're like, yeah, I was taught to avoid eye contact. And I'm like, oh, no. I was definitely not how I was taught self-defense, but it's fine. Oh, Matt, do your introduction.
So anyway,
you and I have to do those.
Yes, I am Matt Hollon. I am a dark fantasy author working on my debut dark fantasy adventure novel. I have a short story available for purchase in Sasha Black's The Rebel Diaries anthology. It is called The White Harvester. It's about a pirate. You'll love it. It is featured alongside 12 other wonderful short stories, and it's available for purchase on Amazon or anywhere else you want to buy a book. There's links down below. You can also follow me on Twitter, while that's still an app, and Instagram, where I really need to start posting. And you can also find me here very regularly, at least once or twice a month. And
twice this month.
Yeah, twice this month. I think at this point, twice a month is pretty regular for me.
Yeah. Fox was like, Matt's face says, "Who are you, Sam?" I am an immortal.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's not that it's surprising, but it's just like, it's always good to get more lore, you know?
And hi, I'm Writing Mom Samantha L. Nasset. This is my channel where I talk about writer stuff, parent stuff, and writer-parent stuff, unless you ask Fox, in which case I talk about none of that. On Mondays, I host live streams like this. In November, all we're doing is writing sprints, except for the 28th, when we will be having our second flash fiction free-for-all. My child just started singing next to me and distracted me. If you would like to read samples of my writing, go to my website, samanthaalnasset.com, where I have a spooky flash fiction, Until Pizza Do Us Part, and a villainous murder short story, All That Glitters. They're completely free. And if you decide that you like them and want to have exclusive early access to beta new ones, you can sign up to my newsletter while you're there. If you like the stream, you like the channel, and you just have a good time, you can, like the stream. Subscribe, ring-a-ding that bell, and I have a Ko-fi down below for tips.
Give Sam money.
Yeah. Now, I put up a poll for our first sprint, which I should have done earlier, but this is what we got. Why are you... Oh, okay. Fox said, "Can I ban Cody from the channel?" And before I finished the sentence, I was like, why? What did Cody do? Until he reads White Harvester. I'm like, sure.
Cody Keller.
So who are you? What happened? Do you hate me? I don't even remember when I said stuff, Fox.
Yeah, you said stuff, and I was just like,
oh, instead of writer
what?
things, parent thing. Look, I have a migraine. These things happen. I have every time I just mildly throw off my intro, one of my regulars just can't function anymore.
Also, Chris out here coming at my unbearded throat.
Free better than paying for a whole anthology.
It's like $5. Leave me alone.
Leave the man alone. Let him get his coin. His 3 pennies.
I get 3 cents.
How much do lightsabers weigh? I think 2 pounds, 2 to 5 pounds.
Like the right amount.
Really?
Because it's all in the hilt. Because the actual blade part doesn't really weigh.
Yeah,
if I remember right.
They do a lot of twisties.
But the hilts are 2 to 5 pounds, I think, because they're about the weight of an actual sword hilt. But I could be wrong, because that would have just been something random that I learned when I tried the tabletop RPG with Ninja. So.
And also, I didn't say it myself, but what are you working on during NaNoWriMo?
Oh, that's right. What's everybody working on tonight? I gotta have my banners. I didn't put my banners.
I only remembered when Matt mentioned what he was working on. And also, I was wondering, are you on your first draft? Or are you
so I am on the first read-through of my first draft. So we're doing the old read and tag. We're almost done with that. And then I get to start actually editing, which is going to exist. That's going to happen. I won't say I'm looking forward to it, but I'm looking forward
editing?
to editing isn't my favorite thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But at least I will actually be working instead of just tagging, which I have not been a fan of, just pointing out problems without fixing them. It'll be good to actually work.
Oh, I don't know how you do that. Just look at it and not fix it.
Yeah.
Why do you do it that way, if I can ask?
It's so that I can then go back when it is time to edit and game plan, because it's a really long draft, but it is currently. Let me look at this old word count for a second. It is 170,000 words right now, so a lot of it's got to go. And so it's going to be good for me to have sort of a game plan going into the edit instead of just going in and start editing as I go. So I'm having to plan my way through the edit,
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of words.
Yeah. But granted, I have entire chapters where I have it highlighted where I'm just remove the whole chapter. This wasn't necessary. You can just get rid of it.
You don't even
So
know.
I have a lot that I can get rid of without really having to put a lot of thought into it. But yeah.
I feel like I understand that. There's like, even now that I'm working on my first draft, I'm like, this chapter will never make the last version of this.
Yeah. It was one of those things where, like, as I was writing it, I'm like, this probably won't make it, but I'd rather write it and then delete it than not write it and then realize, like, oh, yeah, no, that should have gone in here. Now I have to go and write it.
Oh, 100%.
No, I definitely get it. And I think it helps you, like, really get to know your character as well, if that makes sense.
For sure.
Because, like, at least that's how I see it. Like, I have literal chapters that are just fluff.
Yeah.
That, like, I guess it's like left over from my fanfic writing days that I just can't help myself but write.
Right.
I feel that.
Make them.
Yeah, I mean, like, any writing you're doing is going to make you a better writer, even if it's stuff that you're going to cut eventually. So it's not like it's doing nothing for you.
Poor RP.
And like you said, yeah, it helps you get to know your characters a little better the more you write as them.
Mm-hmm.
It can also help you, like, find your voice for a story or for a character. So sometimes you just gotta write the fluff and stuff to delete. Better than not having enough. Well, first, I have found contradicting evidence. George Lucas has both said that they're supposed to be really heavy, about 40 to 50 pounds, but also that they're supposed to be kind of like a sci-fi version of a two-handed sword, which is only 6 to 11 pounds. And, you know, there's that. But I will be working on the outline for my my child just came and wanted my cat. I'll be working on an outline for my paranormal romance about a jaguar shifter who is saving an uptown girl from somebody who's trying to moiter her.
I'm definitely gonna be making sure that I'm on your newsletter so I can beta read that.
I am having a lot of fun with it. Now, as for my goal for Nano, I had actually kind of decided to try to participate in Nano in my own way this year, because there's no way that I can, like, do a traditional Nano with, I mean, I have a child trying to talk to me at this very second, even though she knows I'm in the middle of a thing. But I decided I was going to try to do 100 words a day, which is a little bit more challenging for me than, like, writing 2,000 words a day or something used to be, because, like, that means sitting down and just writing it, like, in a moment. And I'm not as, like, I'm one of those people that sits down for like 4 to 5 hours at a time to work, not like 10 minutes. So I'm like, but then as November got, or like right before November hit, anybody who saw me during the Dubba may have known, or not. Was it that week? Yes, it was that weekend, because it was the weekend of Halloween. All of my children got the flu. So I was taking care of 3 flu children, and then my husband also got the flu, and everybody is just now recovering from that. And then I got a migraine flare-up, which was fun.
Oh,
and yes, it was a migraine flare-up, not the flu, because the symptoms were completely different. See, my natural immune system, I never get sick. I never get the cold. I never get the flu. I never get anything. And even if I do, I'm like non-symptomatic. So like, that's just great. So I guess nature was like, we have to do something to balance this bitch out. Chronic migraines. Here you go.
I'm so sorry. That's so debilitating.
Oh, they suck so much. But it's okay. Wait. Hey, what won in the poll? Can y'all see?
25 minutes won.
Thank you.
In a landslide, I might add. Goodness gracious.
Yes, you could have asked Daddy if you could have a hot dog. You didn't have to sit here saying Mom for 10 minutes.
To all the people in chat that
you timed her?
hate Ohio, myself included. I had Skyline for lunch, which is our nasty Cincinnati chili.
Oh no.
Oh, I mean, it was so good, but like, I know Cincinnati chili is
Look, I'm heavily interested
polarizing topic.
I know that cinnamon goes well in a lot of tomato-based things, so.
I love cinnamon.
What's Cincinnati chili?
So Cincinnati chili is basically a meat puree. It is just the thinnest chili you've ever seen in your life. It's a pleasant grayish brown color. There's no beans in it, and it has.
Hold on, Matt. What are you brainstorming for?
And it has hints of cinnamon and dark chocolate in the chili.
Turn it down. I'm on a live.
So it is originally it was made by a Greek immigrant that came to Cincinnati, made chili, and it got really popular. They put it on hot dogs and on spaghetti, and thus became Cincinnati chili. There's a few chains like Skyline or Gold Star that are really popular in the area, and pretty much anyone outside of this general area does not know of Cincinnati chili, I guess, and doesn't like Cincinnati chili.
I think it sounds intriguing. I wish to.
It's one of those things, like, I grew up on it, and I think it is okay. A lot of people here love it. I don't get the love for it. I kind of understand the hate for it more than the love for it, but I've had it enough that I think it's fine.
It sounds intriguing. I think that's the word for it.
The grossest part of it for me is just it is just so moist and liquidy. Like the
chili should be.
No, but like in chili, you can recognize that there is meat in it. Like you could, if you poured Cincinnati chili into a mesh strainer, it would all go through. Like it is just
a chili smoothie. You say
the thinnest little chili you've ever seen.
I try never to like react to foods, but that sounds repulsive.
Sometimes,
and then they put it on spaghetti, and then just a mountain of American cheese.
If someone is choosing to describe a food a certain way, I think reactions are warranted.
Yeah.
So Sailor Twilight's going to be brainstorming an action scene in their fourth book, trying to do it in a different POV or pace than usual. Ooh, I like that.
That's so fun. Enjoy.
I just tried my first Skyline chili not too long ago. It was all right. Love all the cheese they put in it.
They do so much cheese. All the cheese in the world on anything you order from a Skyline.
All right.
Which is really fun for me, someone that doesn't really like cheese that much, so I always get it without cheese.
Excuse me as my brain processes. You don't like cheese. Who would like to count us down? You're volunteering, Nikki?
I am volunteering, Nikki. I'll go next.
Okay, sure, yeah. Okay. 1, 2, ready. Well, I'm going to do this again. I didn't do it how I wanted to do. Ready.
Okay.
Steady. Go.
that one.
Mom, I want to. I can't see.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
Hello, everybody. How did you do that, Spring?
Hello.
You know, I've
You
had
just
better
did
sprints.
nothing.
I've had worse sprints. Did a couple pages.
How did
That's
you
fair.
do?
Yeah. My child's looking at bots to download for a game, so
Oh,
he has
well,
to get parental approval for the ones that he wants.
but that's good. That he has to check with you before doing anything.
Yes.
I wrote 477 words, which like isn't the best, but isn't the worst also.
That's
More
pretty
words
solid.
than you've had before.
Yeah, it's more than I had before, so I think that definitely, as I've never had such like a consistent writing habit as I have this nano. So
Well,
I
that's
feel like
awesome.
by the end of nano, like I will be a monster writer. So that'll be exciting. And you, Samantha?
Yes, you can have that one. Matt, how many pages do you have left?
How many pages do I have left? That is.
I know you have been you've been chipping away at it.
I have like 120.
120.
Yeah, so not much at all.
How many pages do you have in total? Sorry,
pages? No, you're good. It is 619.
Wow. Okay.
So we're gonna try to get that down to more like 500 at some point.
Oh, excuse me. I did a couple things. I realized I hadn't posted my streaming schedule on my community tab for the month, so I did that. And then I read over what I have of my outline to see where I was. I know where I am now. Yes, you may have that one. And then I had to deal with children and things. So I'm currently brainstorming where I want the scene to go before I start writing it out.
How do you outline?
How do I outline? Messily. So
I know you use that app.
I have
like.
Are you on app for outlining?
No, I use Milanote for outlining.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So basically my outlines kind of go through stages. I do an initial thought dump, and then I organize my thought dump into like scene sections, plot ideas, and then like events and stuff. You go do your typing lesson. And I get that all in chronological order, and then I go through and I fill in the gaps that are missing. Normally I have bigger gaps throughout the actual story because I almost always know where my ending is because I thoroughly enjoy endings. But for this one, I don't know the ending. So it's less filling in the gaps so much as just figuring out the story, which is a new building direction for me. Which I take a little bit more time now because I'll get to a scene and then I'm like, okay, what do I want to happen after this point? And then I figure that out and then I build the gap in there. So I have to create my gaps to fill in my gap. Like I am such a proficient gap filler that I almost can't do it without a gap fill.
I understand that. I've been filling in gaps all day today. Like I know that there was a point A and a point B that I needed to get to, but I didn't know what was point like 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A.
You had an A and a C and you had to figure out B.
Yeah. That connective tissue is always the hardest part of the outlining, the writing, all of it for me is connecting. Yeah. I'm like, okay, we're here. I want to get there. I don't know how to get there.
Yeah. Don't worry, Matt.
Consistently the hardest part for me.
Just become a proficient gap filler. and then you'll just have to create gaps to fill and you'll be golden.
It's also why about like half, not half, that's an exaggeration. Too many of my chapters right now in my first draft begin with just be like, and the weather is this right now because we don't need to talk about how we got here.
Your transitions are forecast. Love it.
The beginning of every chapter, there's a weatherman going, and if you look at Sacramento.
You look at Sacramento.
No, all of mine are like, she arrived here. She woke up. And I'm like, stop it, Nikki. You need to stop being so cringy.
To be fair, for a first draft transition though, that's fine because it's just like it gives you the information. It's like, okay, I have to pretty this up later, but this is my transition. And then you can like move on to the other because you can edit something. You can't edit nothing. So for me, that's what I would call my lazy transition.
I'm realizing now that my transitions I'm realizing my transitions are all like small talk. They're all either about the weather or just like a silly little joke.
That could just be your style.
Yeah.
I can't help but like end my chapters with like something for the people to think about while they read, you know, like a little like nugget of wisdom, and I'm like, I think this is like being kind of obnoxious, but I don't know. How do you end your chapters?
For me, it totally depends on the chapter.
Same.
Like, I do not have a consistent chapter ending. I mean, I love a good cliffhanger.
I'm trying to figure out chapter endings while I do my outline. Is not going well because I'm just like, I'm very scene oriented. I'm not chapter oriented. So I'm like, is this where I should end this chapter? I don't even know. We're just going to do scenes. And then at some point I gave up and I'm like, okay, which every time I switch a POV, that's my chapter. It's right there. So that's how I'm doing it right now. So at the moment, my chapters are just ending where I want to change perspective from the pit fighter to the uptown girl. I'm sorry. Did I not say I could not help you unless I'm sprinting? My child's playing Ocarina of Time. He is stuck in the temple. He is displeased.
For me, for my chapter endings, though, I do have somewhat of a trend. It's basically because, like, the way I kind of look at chapters, I feel like they're either like if a chapter's more character focused, the chapter will kind of try to end in sort of like a way that almost like the thesis statement in a much less academic sense of like how the character progressed as a result of that chapter. Or on the flip side, if it's more of like a plot forward chapter where like, you know, like, yeah, like
like you're just moving the plot forward. Then
a plot-focused chapter, then it's more likely to end on a cliffhanger type thing because the next chapter is probably going to pick up exactly where that last one left off. And, like, you know, we're in an action sequence, whatever. And so then we can just do cliffhangers like that to keep page turning, whereas the character chapters are more, if you want to stop reading here for a little break, this is maybe a good time to do it because he just learned a little lesson.
Bro, I'm in the same.
Let me tell you, like, I know quite a few authors who are always end on a cliffhanger, but like they'll have scene break because they're like, end your chapter on a cliffhanger so people keep reading. But then within their chapter, they'll have scene breaks, which are a more like natural stopping point. I will stop reading at those scene breaks. You're just
making it more inconvenient for me when I go to read again.
Which for the record, I'm not dissing that like way of writing because like it can be effective and it can be effective for some people who are like, who, you know, they like to stop at a good chapter point. But for me, I'm just like, no, this is a good lull in the chapter. I'm gonna go do something now.
Well, like, just like from a pacing standpoint, you know, say it's a 40 chapter book. We're on chapter 12. There's a good chance, just pacing wise, I feel like a lot of times a cliffhanger there's not going to make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Where in like the early rising action, things are going to be moving a little slower. Cliffhanger, I barely know these people.
I barely know these people. I ain't hanging on for them.
I'm not cliffhanging. Like, I'll just drop.
Fox, you can't end the. Well, actually, you could end the chapter in the middle of a sentence.
Ooh, yeah, that would be fun.
And then the next chapter starts.
It would be really funny though if you did that, and it wasn't
sentence ending.
Like that would be really funny to do if it wasn't a dramatic moment. The book from what? Sorry.
The Fault in Our Stars. That like, if you guys ever read that book or watched the movie, she makes a big deal about the fact that there was like a book that was about a dying girl, and the book ended in like mid-sentence, like no conclusion ever, and then like they go to Stockholm to see if they can meet the author. It was like a big that was like part of the big plot of
I would assume that if the book is about somebody dying and it ends mid-sentence, they did. They didn't finish that sentence. That is how Sam is interpreting the end of that. Yeah, and then at page 450, you make it so every single chapter ends with a cliffhanger. So I had to read it all in one go, you bastard.
Look, man, we're in climax at that point. You gotta keep going.
Speaking of like fucked up endings,
Jesse is my CP. If anyone doesn't know, that's why.
Oh yes,
he is calling me a bastard.
Oh,
always good for those clarities. Speaking of like fucked up endings, have y'all ever seen the movie The Mist?
Yes.
The 2007 one?
Mm-hmm.
Chris and I watched it. You forgot about me? Jessica, how dare you? But
rude.
But yeah, so I thought The Mist looked interesting and Chris wanted to watch it today, so we decided to watch it together. About halfway through the movie at least, no, it was a little before then, I knew this movie was going to be fucked up, and I knew the ending was going to be fucked up because I can just tell these things. So I was already prepared for this fucked upness. My husband was not, bless his poor soul. There's a part of the movie where the child looks at his dad and he's like, Dad, you can't let the monsters get me. And just something about the way the child delivers the line and the way the dad half asleep is all like, oh, don't worry. He's like, Bud, I'll never let the monsters get you. I'm like, he's gonna have to kill his son. I'm like, I already know. I'm prepared. And so this group of people escape whatever's going on. There's monsters in the mist and shit. And like they get to the car runs out of gas. All they see is mist. They're pretty sure this is the end of the line. There's only 4 bullets left. So, but there's 5 of them. Dude looks at it like they all have a very silent conversation, which at first I'm like, the fuck is everybody just looking at each other? And then he looks at the gun. I'm like,
are they gonna kiss?
Okay. Is everybody about to make out? This is kind of weird. But,
weird choice, but okay.
But then they count the bullets and he's like, there's only 4 bullets. And the one lady's like, and there's 5 of us. And I'm like, oh no, who's going to be the survivor? My husband taking a little moment and he's like, wait a sec. No, he's not. He's not going to. And I'm like, he's going to shoot his son first. And then the son wakes up and looks at his dad, and then it zooms out and you just see 4 like, kapoo, 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 kapoo. And the guy gets out and he's just yelling and he's angry, understandably so.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a day ruiner.
And then he's yelling because he's like wants to fight the giant monster thing now, but also understandably so. And then military people come and like the mist is going away and it's like the rescue and the cavalry. And it's like literally if he had waited 5 minutes, And the really big kicker is like at the beginning of the movie, there's like when the mist first comes in, there's this mom and she's like, she's like, I can't stay here. I need to get home. My kids are home alone. Like she had left her 8-year-old to watch her toddler for a couple minutes because she thought, real quick walk back to the store. And they're all like, no, lady, you can't. If you go out there, you'll die. And she's basically like, fuck all of you. I know it's not a let's talk, shush. But she's just like, fuck all of you. And she goes. And I'm sitting there like, I like that lady. Like, I'm rooting for her. She's my favorite. And at the end of the movie, she's in the back of the truck with her 2 kids. And I'm like, ha, the lady survived. But God, is that movie fucked up.
Yeah, The Mist is one of those, like, that's a level of bleakness where I'm just like
Mhm.
annoyed by it, to be honest. Like, 'cause I do not like that movie.
There's no point to that
I'm like-
movie being
I'm
that
like-
sad.
It's one of those things where it's like that level of bleakness.
I would have not finished that movie.
Yeah, like I get annoyed with stuff like that where they're like, "Oh, this is so dark and sad. Isn't this sad?" And I'm like, "Motherfucker, you wrote it." Like,
It's his
You-
fiction.
you didn't
it was
have
a
to-
choice.
like you
At
didn't
some
have to
point-
do it. You could have just
At-
not done that, and
at
everyone
some
would have been
point-
fine.
Someone made the choice for this to be that fucked up.
Where I'm like, a fictitious story that is just so incredibly bleak. I have no patience for it. I don't get it. I'm like, why
Yeah,
are we
like,
doing this?
If we're getting a fucked up ending, I want it to be told in like a contradictory tone. I want
Yeah.
there to be a point.
Yeah,
I want
instead
there
of just like,
to be
isn't
a
this
point
sad?
to why.
Was there a point, do you think, or no?
I don't think so
Probably
personally.
something about like hopeless situations and holding out. I don't know. Like I said, it was just like super fucked up for no reason.
I don't know.
In Sam's
Like, I
opinion,
feel like the real world has so many examples of that. Like, why
Exactly.
use a
I
real
feel
world
like
story?
there was supposed to be some deep artistic reason, but I'm like, I'm watching a horror movie. I don't want to think deeply. I want monster bad.
It wasn't even like a bleak horror movie ending of like, oh, and the monster got him at the end. Like, that's fine, whatever. It's a horror movie.
So,
but like this level, I'm like, come on.
So my husband actually did think it. He thought it was The Happening. He thought it was going to be a different movie because he thought like he told me he's like, there's a twist to the mist thing, and I'm like, okay, what's the twist thing? He's like, well, it's the trees, and I'm like, the Lorax is coming for him. All right, I thought we were watching horror Lorax, and then now there's a tentacle monster, and it's like, oh no, this is not horror Lorax. So
I speak for the trees, and the trees say you're gonna die.
that's what I thought.
Tagline.
Like, I'm here for horror Lorax. Okay,
throw that right on the DVD.
They made it bleaker than the.
Yeah, in the book that doesn't happen. In the book, I'm pretty sure in the book it's left ambiguous. I think, like what happens? They just go off into the mist and then it ends.
Fox is yelling. He's like, Matt. He's like, what's wrong with sad, Matt? Sad can exist, Matt. Let sad into your heart. Also
sad,
don't, but you know,
sad,
do.
Sure, but like an ending that is
wasn't sad. Here's the thing, though. I didn't find the ending sad because it's so obvious that it's going to be so bleak and fucked up. I would have been surprised if it was a happy ending. So it's
I don't
like
think it had to be happy, but like a hopeful, like maybe like only the kid survived.
Right, like if you just like a movie like that, it just
Rambo.
It feels like they just went like, what would be the saddest thing we can think of to end this? He has to kill his kid, and then it was all for nothing. Ha. And it's like,
but at least he never had to. At least he never had to tell his kid what happened to his mom.
I don't remember what happened to his mom.
Oh, they found her in the house.
That's right. Yes.
She was
It's been a minute. It's a cocoon. Happens to the best of us.
It does not happen to me. I'm getting a timer. I just have to remember that that's what I'm doing. Okay, 30 minutes.
This is also maybe a good point to share that I'm not a Stephen King fan.
Oh, is it a Stephen King movie?
It's a Stephen King movie.
I never liked that man's movies.
The only exception is I like the It remake. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it.
I 100% give. Wait, say again?
I didn't know that the ending of the book was like so fucked up. Someone explained to me the ending of that book. Yeah.
Of which book?
Of It. Is
that yeah.
Right, you got me there.
Ooh, we don't need to talk about the ending of It on the book.
The Green Mile's fucked up.
But is the movie as fucked up in the ending or no? They don't.
No, I think the book ending for It is like
weird as shit.
Nothing has topped that as far as adaptations go.
That's fucking weird. The ending
in
of
the
It
book,
in the book.
Okay, David and the lady and some other people, not his son, run out of gas, then go to the Best Western. They hunker down, and it ends with them hoping that it'll be over soon. And they hook up to, like we said, they were leading up to. Okay. So the book ending actually sounds fine.
Yeah, like it's still not an ending I particularly like. It's better than what they did in the movie, though, I think.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were still talking about The Mist for a second. Yeah, it fights a giant turtle, which is like representative of the gods of the universe or some shit like that.
Nice.
It gets.
I haven't. I don't like scary movies, so I don't watch them. And
I've never seen Shawshank. So
I haven't either. I'm so sorry.
I know I didn't see it until I was like 18 and I was very bored. I haven't seen the new one, but I give a lot of credit for people enjoying the new It to the Skarsgård who plays Pennywise.
Oh, he does such a good job.
Never before that man put on a clown suit did I see clowns lusted for at the level that the internet went after Pennywise after he played him. So,
well, he was super like attractive, even though he was like psychotic in Hemlock Grove. I don't know if you guys ever watched that show.
Mm-mm.
It was like a vampire, weird show. Like it was so strange, but it was so good.
I see that you and I will have similar taste in many things, though, Nikki, just based upon the way you described that.
It was like
it was sorry.
Like I had like Romany werewolves
in a couple minutes,
like vampires. His like mom was that really hot woman from like X-Men. Like
Storm?
No, Rogue, not Rogue.
Which are you?
The one that Wolverine is in love with.
Jean Grey.
That's Jean Grey.
Oh, oopsie, yes, Jean Grey. Well, that actress that plays her in the movies is the one that plays his mom. It's a very good show.
Okay. Weird. I'm setting up our sprint thing. I am listening. It's not a horror movie.
No, I mean, I've heard Shawshank is phenomenal.
It's about a man who goes to jail and then he breaks out. True Blood is based on a book series. Yes.
No, that was Alexander Skarsgård. Like that's his brother.
Yeah, that's
so
the other Skarsgård.
There's like 1,000 Skarsgårds.
No, there's two brothers and their dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000. Like, look, if there's more than two, there's
more than two.
He said Mamma Mia and Thor.
I was gonna say their dad's in Thor. I know that because like Chris and I had a Marvel day where we just watched the Marvels that only the Marvels he wanted to, since he was sick, and Thor made the cut. So
he also shows up in the movie The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah,
and that's
I know.
a weird movie to see him in.
He's like the bad guy, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He's the bad guy, right? In the original.
No one is allowed to ask me any questions for 5 minutes.
Spoiler alert for Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. He ends up being like the serial killer dude, and I'm like, no, you're the wacky scientist from Thor. Stop it.
No, for me, he's the eccentric, like the eccentric lover in Mamma Mia.
Regardless,
man
not a serial killer.
Different hats. Many different hats. And he acts in both English and his native language too. So he's like,
oh, I didn't know that.
I only know that because Chris is a fan of him. Then Chris watched movie for his one of his film classes watched, I think, some movie. All I remember is I watched a lot of things in subtitles while he was doing that, including the original Let the Right One In. I don't remember much about that other than it's about a little vampire who gets a friend.
I don't know the remake of that.
There's a lot of murders, but that's fine. It's about a vampire who gets a friend as far as Sam is concerned. Can we? Nope. Whoops. All right, Matt, you want to count us down this go around?
I would love to.
All right, go for it.
3, 2, 1, go.
How did everybody do that sprint?
I got a little distracted. I was talking to Jesse about plans I have for a villain in the future and how excited I am for them.
Oh, nice.
But
had
I
to
did a couple
mom.
pages.
Oh, a couple pages still. That's good. And future plans. Get that motivation, that excite up, so
Yep.
that you can trudge through this part. Yes, child. Can you ask Daddy for assistance while I'm talking on the stream? Daddy's beat the game before. Many eons ago. I don't know what's going on with the hair at the moment, so it's just being
Honestly,
fun.
same. I don't know who this guy is.
The hair clocked out.
I don't know
Others
him.
locked in. Don't know what's going on there. But so after I did the momming and my hair did the hairing, I decided to ignore the part of my outline I'm supposed to be working on. And I was like, you know what? I need a breaking point. And so what I do sometimes when I need to think up major plot things is I just have a notebook and I go back to thought dumping. So it's basically like, all right, who, like, during fight, who is she? Like, I write questions for myself and I'm like, who is she fighting? And then I'm like, okay, she's fighting this individual and then stuff like that. And then it's like breaking point. Okay. I hate breaking points that involve breakups, so I fuck that. I'm gonna do other things. But then I'm like, okay, what could my breaking point be? And then it's like I have a couple ideas for breaking points, and I found one that I really like, and I'm like, okay, but if I go with this one, and then I ask myself plot hole questions. It's like, what would be the plot hole so I can figure out a way around them. So, like at the moment, it's, for example, if it's like, oh, well, so and so, takes her back with them. It's like, okay, why wouldn't they just kill her? And it's like, well, I would have to figure out why they wouldn't just kill her, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
So that's the web I'm untangling now.
That's always fun when you create a plot hole for yourself and then have to just go back and be like,
I told
okay,
you.
how to reverse engineer this.
I love gap filling. This is part of that. Is to film. There's sometimes I'll come up with a question for myself that's like, how would this happen, or what would this be? And then I'm just like, I don't actually care. And then I move on. So I'm like, if it's a plot hole, it's a plot hole. I don't care though. It's a speed bump as far as I'm concerned.
That is something that I've gotten so much more patience for as I've aged, is plot holes. Like, if there's a plot hole, they happen, Like,
For
it's not the end of the world.
Plot hole's also one of those things where it loses all meaning for me depending on who's using it, especially if I'm like reading or I'm just, there's a lot of like nerd culture or discussion going on, because I don't think they know what a plot hole is. So because a lot of times it's like, oh, this thing that I didn't agree with, or oh, this thing that I fundamentally didn't understand, plot hole. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it explains it. You just didn't like the explanation. That's not the same as a plot hole.
My favorite one is when people try to use this as like a form of criticism, where they're like, if this didn't happen, the whole story wouldn't happen. I'm like, well, good thing it happened then, isn't it?
Right? It's
Like,
oh,
cause and effect is wild, huh?
You thought you had a thing, didn't you? You, in fact, did not have a thing. Yeah, the way that people criticize, that's one of the biggest, like, things that I think fucks with new writers or just people who don't know how to handle certain types of feedback yet, because they see these discussions and stuff and they're like, oh, well, I don't want people to say that stuff about my story, or I don't want this. And it's like, sorry, I must inform you, they're going to anyway. Like, you can't stop them.
It's like, I hate to tell you, but like, people don't have to be smart to have criticism. A lot of dumb people have criticism.
They say a lot of things that also people are going to say a lot of things that's just objectively wrong or factually wrong.
People are just going to be incorrect about things.
So I'm a firm believer in picking like your battles or just going in knowing, because if you know that like this is going to be an issue or something and then deciding if that's a thing, like I'll give an example. The like one of the shifters that I thought about having be on the bad guy side basically was a caiman, because or an alligator, because jaguars are actually apex predators. So I'm like, I can't really go for the predator of the apex, right? So I'm like, but they hunt alligators or caimans, and I'm like, oh, that could be a really fun shifter to write. And then my husband was like, okay, but remember, you'll be feeding into the what trope is it? Yeah, reptiles are evil. And I'm like, oh no, I don't actually like that. I was just food chaining it. Oh, we're not gonna do that though.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay. And I had to sit there and think about what would give my jaguar shift, because jaguars are pretty beefy. I'm like, what's gonna give my jaguar shifter a run for her money? And I came up with something that excites me, and I don't think most people will think of. So that's just like, yeah, me. Or did you? Chris suggested it, apparently. I have a very short memory. I just know that I like the idea. But anyway, but that's one of those things where I'm like, I don't want people to say that, right? That about my thing. So I'm like, no, I'd rather do a different thing. And I already know some things that some people may say about what I did pick, but it's fine. They're wrong.
Yeah, like people are just gonna have wrong. Like I had for the White Harvester, I had a beta. I always bring this up as when I'm ever talking about like just unvalid criticism.
Sorry, real quick. Fox said, taking credit for the Chris Mind, BRB adding to my new author gossip column. Your rep will never recover writing, Mom. Look, I genuinely thought I had that idea, but apparently it was Chris's, so it's fine. It's not an idea I wouldn't have had. Sorry, Matt, go ahead.
No, you're good. But yeah, for the White Harvester, in that story, there is a large skeletal undead bird, and it flies, as birds are known to do.
The albatross.
And oh yeah, you know the one. I had a beta say, how's it flying without feathers? And I'm like, ma'am, how is it alive without organs? I think that's your more, if you want to nitpick, that's your more important question here. Have you considered it might be magic?
Also, Nikki did exit the stream early, but it's all good, and hope that you're getting plenty of rest. She says to like and subscribe, so thank you, Nikki.
Like, how do you think it's alive? Do you think that could maybe explain the flying too?
No, Matt, we need separate explanations for these things. I was about to put sprint final.
I did receive a lot of good beta feedback, but that was one that was just, I'm like,
betas are always a mixed bag. It's fine. I love betas. I even love the betas that give me the head scratching feedback. It's just because it's fun, and it's fun to see how people's minds work. And that's one of my favorite things to do, is to see how people's minds work, specifically in regards to my writing. So it's great.
Yeah. I've only had one beta process in my life.
Please provide a historically accurate bird. I will not rest until I get this. We'll watch for this in his fantasy debut. Fox will also prepare you for a lot of those kinds of readers. It's fine.
It's one of those, like, she asked the question, she's like, how is it flying? I'm like, I don't know. It's magic. I'm like, me, the author, didn't think this was important at all. Like, there's so much magic in this story. Why is this tripping you up?
It's necromancy, my dear. It flies off the memory of flight.
Yeah, like
real abstract.
It flies off of vibes. What do you want?
Off the vibes. And it's having a good vibe day.
Yeah, so he's just sailing.
It's having a bad vibe day. It's just like so much turbulence.
Lapis is like, hey, fly me to that island. He's like, vibes are off today. It's a little cloudy.
Vibes are off. We're not going.
We're not going. You're swimming. Sorry, sis.
Well, can we just appreciate that she apparently knew how large an albatross was, because the albatross flying the human was not the question.
Yeah, I was like, good on you, knowing that albatross are huge.
Aren't they like one of the only birds that can lock their wings too? So they just keep flying even when they're asleep.
Mm-hmm. I love albatross.
We know too many weird animal facts. Which, speaking of, Chris got to learn just how in-depth my knowledge of various wildcats are, because, babe, what were we watching that had to do with cats? Panthers, because we were talking about panthers, and I was like, panthers are black leopards, and he said they were black jaguars. But then he said a leopard and jaguar is the same thing. And I was like, no, leopards and jaguars are different. Leopards are closer to cheetahs. And so we looked it up, which the answer is that we were both right, in that apparently panthers are just what happens when they have a lot of them. I forgot the word. It's an M word. But and so they're black. So jaguars and leopards can both be black, and then they would both be referred to as a panther. Because there's actually no such thing as a panther. That's not its own thing. It's
just any black big cat.
Yeah, which is
or near
like
black,
almost exclusively leopards and jaguars. But leopards and jaguars are two different big cats. And I hadn't realized it, but jaguars are like exclusive to the Americas, and leopards are to Asia's and Africa. Well, then we started talking about all the big cat, and I like know all of the big, like the true big cats. There's technically only 4 of them because they're the ones that roar. And then there's the like smaller big cats, and like I know them in order and stuff, and like the noises they make, and I'm like, yeah, cheetahs don't actually make cat noises, they're birds.
Yeah, they go. I love cheetahs so much.
They purr and they chirp, and that's all. Like, and then but this was like also information that I hadn't consciously accessed in years, and the more I like remembered about jaguars, and the more I then went on a deep dive for jaguars, I was like, I am a genius making Moxie a jaguar. It's like so perfect. I'm like, yes. So that's quite.
I absolutely adore cheetahs because they are so bad at being an animal. Like they're awful at it.
But they get support dogs.
They do, because they all have anxiety from being horrible at being cats.
I just don't know how to cat.
They're like, I can run so... They have one skill, and it's not really that useful.
Fox said, can you please have a chirping cheetah pit fighter opponent? No, Moxie would tear that little fucker up. Cheetahs could not be pit fighters.
Cheetahs are pathetic. Lose. Absolutely pathetic.
They are my favorite.
I love them.
To be clear, like not exaggerating, they are my absolute favorite. I used to use like cheetah motif and logo. Would get so upset you can only actually get leopard and jaguar print stuff. Yes, love. All right, go to bed. We'll do a sprint in a moment, and then I'll be able to help him. Fox said, let him, they chirp. I will put a cheetah shifter in the story. Make no mistake. I am just not murdering him. He cannot be a pit fighter. Cheetah's only skill is that they run fast, and that's not even, and it's only for a limited amount of time.
They're not even
And
that
it's
good
not
at
even
it.
a good thing because
No.
they run fast. They use up so much metabolism they can't actually eat enough to keep it.
I love cheetahs so much.
They're really bad at existing.
They have no reason to exist. They should have gone extinct so long ago because evolution failed cheetahs so bad.
Fox is like murder. Not everyone who tries to be a pit fighter succeeds. Someone has to lose. Yeah, not the cheetah.
If you make a cheetah character, please give them anxiety.
He's gonna look. Hold on.
This
Let me write
anxious
this
little man
down.
that's like, I'm fast.
Cheetah shifter water boy always stressed, always snacking.
I love him.
It's on the notes.
Oh no.
Let me tell you, Chitara from Thundercats, gravely misleading. Yep. I heard your dad was apparently very bad at helping you with Ocarina. Don't worry. You have to wait for a sprint though.
Oh.
Well, he hasn't played the game for eons. It's okay, baby.
I love
like
that we're
20
just
years probably.
dunking on cheetahs as a species, and chat is silent.
Chat does not have our extensive knowledge and love of cheetahs specific. Look, I'm just saying this is more evidence that we are in fact that we spawned from the same primordial source.
Yeah.
Because I've never met anybody.
We love them.
I have never met anybody else who loves cheetahs as much as I do and knows so much about how bad they are.
They suck at being cheetahs.
But they sound so cute.
They are so cute.
Oh, wait. Chirps when anxious. I have to make sure I write that.
Oh,
When
no.
startled. When startled. Now, what I need for you to do is just imagine that like this giant like grizzly bear shifter comes out of the like the little cheetah boy is trying to and he's a lanky little thing because he's a cheetah.
Right.
And he's like trying to with the water. And then this bear shifter comes out from behind him, and then he just chirps.
He goes,
chirps. Like, hi, Ted.
oh no.
Not because he's actually scared of the bear, because it's the bear, so it's actually a pretty nice guy. But the little cheetah chirps.
I would do anything for this little cheetah boy.
Hi, CB. We've just created a character for my book that's going to be Matt's favorite. Matt's going to read the book. And
I'm going to love him with all my heart.
Then I'm going to get past the pit fighting part where they're like away from the arena, and Matt's critique notes are just going to be, okay, but when is the cheetah coming back?
Where is he?
It's like,
bring
all right,
him back.
Sam,
We need him.
I know he's not relevant to the plot, but could he at least text her? Moxie just gets a text on her phone, and she's just like, oh, Chirpy's just checking in.
And I go, yes!
That's his nickname, Chirpy.
Chirpy. They're like, aren't you a big cat? Can't you, like, eat? Aren't you a predator? And he goes, I mean, technically,
that would be great
because
he's chirping, and so like another character's just like, what kind of bird is he? It's a parrot. It's like
he goes,
I'm a cat. Sounds like a pigeon. I've never heard a bird chirp like that. And somebody goes, no, he's a cat. He's a cheetah. I'm like, oh. Just this is like understanding. I see.
God, I love cheetahs so much.
Cheetah boy may become your Mr. Crow. I will love. He will be the Vincent of my story. I always have to have one. one NPC that weirdly outshines everybody else, even though they have no reason to. And then other people, other readers who are immune to the NPC charm, they're just like, I don't understand why.
I do not get the hype here.
I love the beta readers who I'm like, what do you think of Vincent? And they're like, he was there?
Who is this man?
What? Like, why are you asking me about him? He was so unimportant. And I'm like, yes, I know. You're fine. Your reaction's normal. And then I get the beta reader who's like, I would kill for Vincent. I have known him 2 seconds. He is my son. I love him. And I'm like, this is the beta reader with the special reaction. This question was here for you. All right, we should do our final sprint of the night. So, Matt, no, you must have your own Mr. Chirpy.
Yeah, no, I
Do
need
you
it.
have a Mr. Chirpy?
I definitely don't have a Mr. Chirpy. I'm trying to think. Jesse, if you're watching, are there any very minor characters that you love with all your heart?
Jesse, does Matt have a Mr. Chirpy?
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
A Mr. Vincent Chirpy? Should I name the cheetah Vincent? Excuse me, I have to write another note.
Hello, I am Vincent McChirpy.
I am Vincent Von Chirpy. Excuse me, I have to add to my note. Vincent
Von Chirpy.
That's how others introduce it. This is Vincent Von Chirpy. I am not! That's not my name!
That's none of my names. I'm Ryan. Hi.
My name is George. His name is Vincent Von Chirpy. Don't let him lie.
Jesse, you are straight up lying. That's not true.
The drain guy, Harold, was his name.
His name was Harold, and you do not love him. I know you hate him.
I'm not sure if remembering the name is a requirement for a Mr. Chirpy.
No, Harold absolutely sucks.
I would not actually name Chirpy George. That was the first one that I threw out. See, his name should be Vincent now.
I think that would be good.
His name is Vincent. It's just the Von part is not actually. His name's like Vincent Smith, but everybody calls him Vincent Von Chirpy.
Von Chirpy.
And they act like it's a very serious title. His name is Vincent Von Chirpy of the Water Boy.
Of the Water Boy. They curtsy when they see him.
He just freaks out because he doesn't get it. He thinks they're all making fun of him, but which they are a little bit. But it's out of love.
They would all die for him.
Like a crocodile shifter occasionally smiles at him, and he just freaks the fuck out. And they're like, I really just want to befriend him, but I understand. I brought him a steak the other day, and he about shit his pants. I guess I can't do that.
Oh, I love this cheetah. I love him so much.
Who has had no lines. It's just everybody talks about him.
Everyone talking about him. Just
he's
his
too
vibe.
anxious to speak. So, he never has a line of dialogue.
This poor boy.
He's my favorite now. I have to go add him into my outline.
Oh.
When Richie meets him, because she's like a human, she's just like, oh, hello. And he goes, hi.
She's at the highest voice.
She can't tell if he like chirped again or if he actually spoke. And he's like, hey, water. Sticks very high very quickly. We have made magic this day. Fox said the sequel you never planned to write is just Moxie solving the murder of Chirpy.
No, Fox. No, he can't be hurt.
I'm sure that's the popular reader sentiment.
You cannot hurt Chirpy.
Chirpy shall survive, book 1. I make no promises beyond that.
No!
Luckily for you, it's a standalone, so would you like to count us down?
Sure.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
And we're back. How did you do that final sprint?
So we are back. I was aware of that. I did all right. I did a few pages again.
Sweet. So I decided that my last issue was too big an issue and I didn't want to deal with it. So I changed the breaking point 3 times. I think I've got a thing that I could be happy with. And I added Chirpy now. So he's actually important
We love him.
for part of it. Maybe. We'll see if he stays in the final draft. I mean, he'll be in the final draft. I just mean in this scene in the final draft. Also, Fox and I talked a bit because he was like, if I, write the sequel in which Chirpy is murdered, then he's like, it would either be a strong motivation for my readership or it would ruin my career. And I was like, it may end my friendship with Matt. He might
You
permanently
can't hurt
disown
Chirpy.
me.
I'm
And,
sorry to say.
And Fox was like, look, you're trying to end your friendship with me. It's only fair you do the same to Matt. And I'm like, this is fair. Just
like,
know I can, in fact, hurt and murder whoever I want. Telling me I can't just makes me want to do so more. There have been many times where I have told Fox in which the story I will murder Lita or Jamie. And he gets displeased with me every time. So
yeah, I have a character who Jesse insists that I can't hurt. And yet, here I go, continuing to hurt him over and over again.
I murdered POV characters before it was edgy and cool. Just for the record, when it was considered bad writing, I still did it. Hi, Sage. Yeah, don't get too comfy with that Zora Sapphire, buddy. Hi. My child's playing Ocarina, which also took up about the 3/4 of my attention.
I found tie clips that I forgot I had, and they have taken a decent amount of my attention because they can pinch each other.
My violent fuck you is directed to Matt, not the newcomers. Oh, hold on. It censored you, so nobody saw the violent fuck you. I'm sorry. Which you're a mod.
Yeah, how did that even happen?
You mod yourself.
Yeah, no, I hurt Jesse's favorites as kind of a hobby.
So, in a fun related thing, I accidentally just always murder my sister's favorite. Just every single time. And it's not a case of where like I'm writing the story and then she reads it and tells me her favorite and then I murder them. No, it's I have fully finished the story. She has told me who her favorite is and I'm like, oh, are they? And then she goes, you kill them, don't you? You bitch. And I'm like, stop loving the ones destined to die.
Look, it's not my fault you love corpses. They just don't know they're corpses yet.
I know it shows normally. I thought everyone could see it. I can't see it at all. Like on the YouTube.
Yeah, I never saw it.
YouTube's been quietly eating things in chat again, regardless of mod status. That's fair. YouTube just doesn't want.
YouTube.
I like that YouTube didn't give us Jesse's violent fuck you, but it let him tell us
that
about
fuck
it.
you was fine.
That one was fine.
That was a cool one.
It happened to me during one of Cat's streams last week. Oh, that's just all kinds of rude. I did 172 words. I wish I did more, but this is the scene where where the love introduced, so it's taking longer to figure out the flirting and playfulness. That's fair. The other fuck you was too violent.
Too much.
The second one was just enough.
Yeah, that was fine. The first one was a little
you're
much.
supposed to pause and wait unless you want to be kicked off your game. And then hit him in the butt. Anyway.
It let the XD at the end, but deleted everything else.
Actually, let the...
Yeah, that's weird. Jesse just
No,
sent
let
me
me tell you, that kept happening to me when, like, I would type out a message and then I would make the face and it would just delete everything before the face. And I'm like, is this a new coding thing I have stumbled upon? Where it just deletes everything but my big smile face?
Yeah, Jesse just sent me the picture of the chat, and yeah, it
You have
shows
to
up on
wait.
his.
Sorry, say again.
Jesse sent me a picture of the chat, and yeah, it shows up on his, but not
That's
anywhere else.
wild. Despite the fact that I've told him to wait 3 or 4 times, he doesn't want to wait, so now I'm just ignoring him. YouTube's eating comments again.
It must have
We
gotten
thought
hungry.
everyone thought that they would be, and by everyone I mean no one, thought that they would, YouTube would be nice since they're, lowering the requirements for handles and community tabs and literally everything. But no, now they're just eating all of the comments.
Rude ass YouTube.
Yep, rude ass YouTube. But all right, we should go ahead and wrap up for the night.
Okie doke.
It's going on about 3 hours, and I need to get some of this stuff typed up into my outline so I can see if I did 100 words today. I'm looking for things.
I shall do my outro while you search.
Yes.
I am Matt Hollon. I'm a dark fantasy author working on my debut dark fantasy adventure novel. I do have a dark fantasy short story available for purchase, though. It is called The White Harvester. It is in Sasha Black's The Rebel Diaries anthology alongside 12 other fantastic short stories. You can buy it on Amazon. You can buy it all kinds of other book purchasing websites that I didn't even really know existed until this publishing process. Like I was like, yeah, I'm like, I don't know who that is. But you can buy my story there. It's down there. There's links down in my link tree. There's also a link to my Twitter. There's a link to my Instagram. I use the Twitter a decent amount.
If you don't read The White Harvester, Fox may ban you without telling me. I don't know. He keeps threatening it.
I mean, I would just play it safe and buy it and read it and leave an Amazon review. That's what I would do if I was in your situation.
I feed the YouTube every Monday for 2 to 3 hours.
How much more food does it need? And you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram. One of these days, I'm going to post on Instagram regularly. One day in the future. Twitter, though, I do tweet sometimes. I tweet fairly regularly. And yeah, you can find me here at this point. Yeah, like twice a month, sometimes more, occasionally less.
Your out of context tweets as notification at the top of my phone.
I have gotten that. Been told that before.
Especially since it's almost identical to the Discord DM notification from you. So sometimes I'm just like, what conversation did I forget we were having?
I love when people have my Twitter notifications on because I always tweet without any sort of context.
And then sometimes you DM me and I think it's your Twitter. So I don't respond to you for a while and then I feel bad.
I just tweet. I'm like, so when is the live stream? And you're like, weird tweet. Anyway.
Whatever. Weird tweet. I'll get to that later.
Oh, that's
Hi, thanks for stopping by for how much you were here. Hi, and I'm Writing Mom Samantha Nasset. This is my channel where I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer-parent things, not stuff.
No. Never again stuff.
And I've been disowned. And on Mondays we have a lot of fun, and we do streams like this in honor of Nano. We're doing a bunch of writing sprints until we get to the 28th, and then we're doing a flash fiction free for all, which is gonna be a lot of fun. if you'd like to check out some samples of my writing, go to my website, samanthanasset.com, where I have a spooky flash fiction Until Pizza Do Us Part and a murderous villain short story. All that glitters. And if you like those, you can sign up to my newsletter for exclusive early access to beta any future. Let me just scoot over here. Are you trying to be in the camera or not? I'm trying to move the camera so you're not in it, but then you keep moving further this way. Okay. Anyway, yes, if you like the stream, hit the like button, subscribe, ring-a-ding the bell, sign up to my newsletter. You can tip me at my Ko-fi down below.
Give Sam money.
And thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Thanks for coming. See everybody on the replay, and bye.
Toodaloo.